All right, we've hit a dozen shows now, the Twin Cities Real Estate Pros podcast. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ron Johnson, licensed real estate agent with RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Joined by, as always, David Nelson, licensed real estate agent with RE/MAX Advantage Plus. I usually introduce everybody. Why don't you introduce yourself this time?
Ooh.
Dawn Seepersod, licensed with RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
Perfect. In the business of selling real estate in Minnesota.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's all the legal stuff that's out of the way, but we appreciate you joining us. We're going to talk to Dawn about some pre-listings she's got going on. David's got some pre-lists as well. I've got some. And we're multimedia again for the second week, so we are live on Facebook over there, live on Facebook up there. We are on our podcast that you can hear on our website at TwinCitiesRealEstatePros.com, also on YouTube over there. And that is ImperialHomeTeam.tv, so hopefully we're starting to catch some traction here and people know where to find us, whether video or audio.
You also forgot SoundCloud. Right here on the mics.
Oh.
Yep, and that's where our audio podcast will be, and so that's on SoundCloud. So we appreciate you joining us for the Twin Cities Real Estate Pros podcast and webcast. What we talk about are the local Twin Cities real estate market, and also we also market our particular listings and look for things for buyers. So thanks for joining us for that. And also today we have a special guest, Bob Crawford. He's the mayor of Elko-New Market, which is just south of where we are here in Lakeville. We're going to talk to Bob about some exciting things going on as the South Metro continues to grow further south, and a lot of things they have going on in Elko-New Market. Mm-hmm. And that's actually courtesy of Dawn, so we appreciate you getting that set up for us.
Thank you.
So let's get to David first and then hear about what you've got coming on the market.
So as of yesterday, for the live people, as of yesterday's Monday, we've got 2 properties signed up for pre-list. One is 11786 177th Street in Lakeville. No surprise, it's a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom, because I do like those. 3,200 square feet, give or take a little bit. Wooded back lot. It's in the Lakeville Gulf Estates. And that one's going to go at $365.
Wow.
So that's going to be a great price to get in that neighborhood. We're looking at probably putting that in the market in about 3 weeks. As of now, if you go to our Coming Soon page in Zillow, you won't see it because we don't have it up yet. So later on this week, it'll be under Coming Soon. The next one, as of this morning, it became official, 564 Summit Avenue in Dundas. I kind of alluded to this last week, but it's and guess what?
What?
It's 4 bedrooms.
And 4 bathrooms.
There you go.
Yeah. And this one's at 2,700 finished square feet, going to go at $270. It's got an updated kitchen, a huge deck, fish pond, in-ground sprinkler systems, updated. Their basement's got a travertine walk-in shower and built-in surround sound. So those 2 will be on the Coming Soon page and this is probably today, if not tomorrow.
Okay. And just kind of set the scene again here. So for folks that are watching us live on Facebook, when you go back and watch on YouTube, we'll have photos, descriptions, information, instead of just all of our pretty and not so pretty faces on these. So you'll be able to see a lot of the pictures and things like that. So that's one of the services we also offer for our clients, is doing the pre-listing and the marketing with video, so folks can see those houses before they do hit the market.
And to kind of put a blurb too on our TwinCitiesRealEstatePros.com website, there's the audio and the video, as well as we always blog about it too. So there's hyperlinked. So if you just want to go to the blog and click on a certain property, it'll take you right to the Zillow listing or wherever we've talked about. And so it's a good way of kind of expanding your knowledge and et cetera.
All right.
I didn't know how to end
You
that
can cover
sentence.
anything with et cetera, ... So
Yeah, I know.
appreciate
and so forth.
Yeah. So let's talk to Dawn now. She's licensed real estate agent with RE/MAX Advantage Plus, as we mentioned, Dawn Seepersod. We have fun with that legal requirements. That's why we say that, but we actually have to say that. So anyway, you've got a couple of things on the market right now that you'd like to talk about.
Yes, I do. I have 2 active listings. My first one is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Apple Valley, right by Apple Valley High School. So it borders the football stadium, so you actually have walking access to the football field, which is nice. It's in a great neighborhood. It's in a cul-de-sac, at the end of a cul-de-sac, a beautifully maintained home, and it's a little over 2,700 square feet, offered at a reduced price of $275. And it's got fresh paint every year. Carpet's awesome. It's just a really good maintained home. So beautiful, beautiful home. I call it the jewel in Apple Valley. That's what I call it.
Wow.
So yeah, it is.
It's a good tagline.
Yeah. So book your showings. Okay, and then I have a townhome in Farmington, and that is listed at $145. It's a 2-bedroom, 3-bath. It's a 3-level townhome, and there's a restroom or a bathroom, on every level, which is really nice. And again, that's listed at $145, and that's in a very convenient location. It's right off of Pilot Knob Road and 183rd.
Okay, and if somebody wants to take a look at this, like I said, when we run the video, you'll be able to see pictures. Also, then your contact information if somebody wants to see those.
Yep, my contact information. You can always call me. My cell phone number is 952-465-9728. Otherwise, dawn.imperialhometeam.com.
Okay. And we'll also have, like David said, a hyperlink to that on our website, TwinCitiesRealEstatePros.com. And you can also see David's pre-lists on Zillow. I've got a pre-list that we'll talk about as well. We're going to bring in Bob Crawford. So we thank you for joining us, Dawn.
Thank
so
you.
Just kind of slide out there and we'll bring in Bob Crawford, the mayor of Elko-New Market. And that'll allow me to talk about the pre-list I have coming on. Should be on the week of May 10th or so. $158,000 for Foliage Court. It's 6721 Foliage Court. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, split-level townhome with a 2-car garage. So the municipality is Lakeville. The postal address is Roseville. The school district is 196. Rosemount. I'm sorry.
That would be a heck of a...
That would be a big drive. That would definitely be a big drive, but it would show that I could cover the entire metro. So.
And you can.
I can. But no, yeah, you're right. Sorry. The postal is Rosemount. Municipal is Lakeville's, and Apple Valley is kind of right across the street if you know where that area is. So District 196, we'll have pictures out there next Tuesday. The sellers are getting some other things cleaned up here or there, so we're aiming for that week of May 10th to go on. But if you want to see it pre-list, we can definitely set that up as well. So that's what I've got coming up pre-list, and now our guest has joined us now. Bob Crawford is the mayor of Elko-New Market, so we appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us, and just grab that microphone there.
It's all you.
Thanks for inviting me. We have a great community in Elko-New Market. Everybody is welcome. It's a very inclusive community. Everybody's happy. We've got one of the highest ratings on our surveys for people being happy with things out there, and nobody ever wants to leave. They have to be dragged out to get out of Elko-New Market.
There you go. Yeah, and that's where Dawn lives as well. And if you could hear her voice in the background, she's staying there too. So so Elko-New Market, just south of us here, where we are in Lakeville. So people may be familiar with that if they're heading out of town, going down south on 35 or going to the Speedway there. But tell people who don't know anything about Elko-New Market. Tell us more about what's going on in the city.
Well, if development is on the cusp of really booming. We've got a developer planning a 12,000 square foot convenience store on the corner of 2 and 91 with a pharmacy and a doctor's office and a second story is going to be all offices with lake views, and it's going to be a beautiful building, and it'll be another gas station, which we kind of need out there. And they're going to have fresh produce and fresh meat, and it's going to be a real addition to the community. And then south of that, just off of 275th and 91, there's another development that's looking to come in with 144 homes. To be on 275th and approximately Beard, from Beard to 91, and south of that. There's what we call the Christmas tree lot. They're looking at developing, which is right on the corner of 2 and 91, into small individual homes for whoever, I think they may be rental, they may be for sale. That hasn't been decided yet, but that's, and there's up down by our school, which is closer to 27, there's an elementary school. There's another 50 plus acres that a developer is looking at for another 150 homes.
Wow.
And there's several other projects, a large senior housing project with commercial and everything else that will be coming in right on the edge of downtown New Market on the western edge. So it's just booming with people looking at the city and bringing in preliminary things to the city to look at. And as we kind of say to all the developers, if you've got an idea and it doesn't fit, if you look at our ordinances or whatever and it doesn't fit, bring it in, we'll sit and talk, and we'll find a way to either make it work or not. But we're open to talking to anybody. I mean, I mean, if it's a really bad idea, we're not gonna-
Right, yeah.
but
That's right, the toxic waste dump. Not a good idea.
But anything else, we're very pro-business and pro-development, but are some caveats. We plan on keeping our small-town feel, so it's not going to be, the commercial and the residential aren't going to be intermixed.
Yeah.
So you're always going to have a nice neighborhood to live in.
Well, the great thing with Elko-New Market, if you've ever been out there, fans of the show, you know, it's a rural community, but not. I mean, you have the access to the Twin Cities very quickly. So the nice thing is you're not confined like cities like Burnsville, Bloomington, where you've hit your boundaries. Where Elko-New Market, I mean, you've got space to go, so you can have a nice rural, urban development if you wanted to, and still keep the same small town charm, but at the same time, you know, bring in commercial and some nice residential, and we've got quite a luxury down there.
It's the potential for our community is all the way to the moon. I mean, we're only 30 minutes from downtown, either downtown and a good day, and you can't do that from downtown Lakeville or any other southern suburb.
No.
It's just with our access to 35, the way it is, it's unbelievable how quick you can get to 35.
Yeah, Bob Crawford is our guest. He's the mayor of Elko-New Market on the Twin Cities Real Estate Pros podcast. And you had mentioned bringing in a gas station and find a place to find produce. I imagine some towns really struggle with, you get all the kind of the advantage of being rural, but if you just need to run out to the store, you've got to go to Lakeville or you've got to go to these other places. So what that really does is it helps keep your residents there with a convenience to shop, also helps keep some money there and continues to build the community that way.
That's correct. That's been our number one on our wish list for lots of years, and to bring in a full-blown grocery store is everybody's a little worried because the grocers are, because we've got Walmart just north of us and a Walmart south of us in Faribault, so they're a little bit hesitant on doing things like that. So we're just going to prove to them that we'll probably make that the most successful convenience store in the world, and he'll probably
You heard it here first.
There you go.
You heard it here first. Yeah, and you pretty much know that Lakeville put that Walmart just where they did, just to lure those Elko-New Market residents. I mean, that's a great location, but it's
not just Elko-New Market residents. We have over 12,000 people a day drive on County Road 2 to get on 35.
good point.
And that's from Lonsdale, from New Prague, from Webster. I mean, Newmarket Township. I mean, there's a lot of people that live in the area and drive through that area, and it's.
Yeah, so the idea then is to pick off some of those people as they're driving past you, right? Essentially,
Either
to get
way.
to Lakeville or wherever, and then they can stop there and do their shopping and spend some money and things like that, and also find a great place to live that may be more convenient than some of those other southern areas.
Yeah, well, they can do it on their way home or on their way wherever they're going, and it'll be right there. And I think the location is fantastic, and we've got a few other commercial lots in town. Not a lot, but there's more coming as we develop we've got a 125-acre industrial park that we're putting in just on the other side of the freeway, and that's to the point where as soon as we get the developer gets a permanent user that starts building in there, we start putting in the water and sewer, and everything could come together in 6 months for a user.
Wow.
Yeah, now you're about almost not quite a year and a half into office. Came in January of last year.
Yeah.
So at what? Tell us a little bit about what you were doing prior to that and where the vision started to become mayor and the ideas that you had.
Well, I was started on the council 2 years prior to that, and I got involved in committees all over the county promoting Elko-New Market, and also just working on county issues, transit and MVTA board and all the other things. And I realized that if Elko-New Market was going to grow, we had to be involved in things other than our own little community. Mm-hmm. So I put in a lot of hours every week promoting our community in other venues and just doing service that makes us more attractive for the rest of the county to try to help.
And then one day you said, hey, you know what, I want to be mayor, and threw your hat in the ring, or tell us about that
Well,
process.
what happened is the former mayor was trying to find a house in Elko-New Market, thought he had one, put in his bid and sold his house, but then somebody overbid him.
Ooh.
So he wasn't eligible to run at the time.
Because he wasn't living there.
Yeah.
This is an awesome
You have to have
story.
that contingency. This offer is contingent upon me not becoming the mayor,
Yeah, it's a-
or staying the mayor.
The mayor
So,
clause.
so he
That's awesome.
didn't run, and so I chose to run, and had a person run against me, and but apparently my vision worked, and I became mayor with a fairly significant margin. But
Wow.
we've been moving right along and progressing really fast ever since.
So, by any chance, were you the person that outbid the mayor, the previous mayor?
No, I
Okay,
wasn't.
just clearing the water, just
Yeah.
trying to stir the pot. a
I
little
did.
bit.
I did find out that it was
it is.
one of our people that worked for one of our communications companies out there outbid him. But he did find a house in town, though. He's back living in town. He's actually living in Dawn's neighborhood.
Windrose, huh?
In Windrose, yes. People that live in Elko-New Market will do anything to stay in Elko-New Market.
Mm-hmm.
The only person I know of in the past year that's left was one of our council people resigned. He was working for the Minnesota Wild, but he got a job offer from the San Diego Chargers.
Okay.
Okay.
So
San Diego's nice.
it
The weather in, no offense to Elko-New Market, but the weather in,
well,
in San Diego
it's
might
not.
be a little nicer.
I'm sure I'm sure he got going from an NHL team to an NFL team. It was significant pay difference, and living in California on the beach with his family,
Oh yeah.
it was probably too much to turn down, and so more power to him. I'm happy for him. I offered to rent a room from him.
Whatever he's
What a generous guy. Like, if you want, I'll come visit you.
Yeah, that'd
You know,
be great.
I'll bring a little Elko-New Market with me.
Right. So, yeah.
As long as part of the rent is football tickets, especially when they play the Vikings.
Yeah, especially next year or this year.
Then you're all set. Yeah. So again, Bob Crawford is our guest. He's the mayor of Elko-New Market here on the Twin Cities Real Estate Pros podcast. I guess when a town like Elko-New Market is considering expanding and things like, I'm sure you have to watch what else is going on around you as other cities sort of in that South Metro area. Savage has gotten so much bigger. Shakopee's gotten so much bigger. Lakeville, Farmington, Rosemount. So that you kind of watch and say, okay, well, kind of it's our turn now. We're the next one.
Well, yes, and we try to learn by any mistakes they've made, and I'm actually work with the other 7 mayors in Scott County, meet with them every other month, and so when things come up where there's been little hiccups, where there's problems, I try to learn from that so we can get past that without making the same mistakes, and it seems to be working, and part of it is our real open policy to discuss anything. There's nothing that's not on the table. It's just how do we get to where we want to be.
Right, so let's get to know you a little bit, because it's a really good opportunity for us to be able to share just who you are, not only what you have going on in the mayor's office, but tell us a little bit about yourself. You said you grew up in Minneapolis, then you made your way down to Lakeville, and now you're in Elko-New Market. So tell us your story. Who is Bob Crawford?
Well, I graduated from Minneapolis Roosevelt in 1971, a year behind a former governor.
A guy named Jesse.
Yeah, and the same year as one of our premier broadcasters in the Twin Cities, John Hines. We graduated the same year together.
He officiated a wedding that I was at. A friend of mine got married, and he was the officiant at the wedding.
Okay.
John Hines was, yeah. Anyway,
And-
he didn't care about that. But.
No,
Good story. Good story.
I actually got to see him again last weekend. The Mayor's Association took a tour of the Vikings Stadium, and he's actually the spokesperson for the Super Bowl coming.
Oh, okay.
They're going to have videos and such that it's going to be that Super Bowl is going to be a big thing, and it's going to involve the whole metro area, and even I would say a lot of outstate if they want to get involved. So it's going to be a great event. But other than that, I've been married for almost 44 years. I've got another 11 days and I'll make it.
Wow. Happy early anniversary.
But and I've been married. My wife is wonderful. She's supported me all the way through, even though the last election when I was running, she was going through treatments for cancer.
Oh. And
she still said, "You got to get out and campaign." And so she's a wonderful woman.
Is she better now?
She's better now. She's basically to the end, except for checkups, and wow. Things look good. So I'm actually looking forward to the next campaign because she might even be out there with me a little bit.
She'll be in your back pocket. Yeah, that's awesome.
But so it's was a former meat cutter. I managed a Sam's Club, worked at Sam's Club and was a manager for meat produce and deli. It's one of those companies where you do multiple departments.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say multiple departments for one department's pay, but I hate to say that, but yeah. I know it's compared to some other companies.
Yeah.
But I got hurt after I left Sam's Club and was forced to retire at 56 because of a shoulder I had replaced. They told me I couldn't be a meat cutter anymore. It was too heavy a work, and so
I suppose the repetitive motion too.
The repetitive and the heavy weight and all that. So I sat around the house for a couple of years and did other hobbies and stuff, and finally people in town told me I should run for office. That's when I ran for council.
And then you said, well, this guy I went to high school with became governor, so obviously I could run.
Well, if he can be governor,
can do it, you can do it.
If Jesse with his personality can become governor, somebody as calm as me for sure could be mayor.
I'm curious, when he became famous for wrestling, was that, okay, yeah, I went to high school with that guy, or did you already know him, or like what was he like back in high school? How well did you know him, if at all?
I didn't know him that well, but I didn't want to know him that well. And those that did know him that well didn't like him that well. Except for, you either liked him or you didn't.
Sure.
You know, if you liked him, you really liked him. He was a different personality even back then, but
still is.
Yeah, still is. In a former life, I was a sportscaster, and I had a chance to interview Jesse Ventura when he was governor. I was at a St. Paul Saints game, and he was there, and he had mentioned going to Roosevelt, and this is when they were trying to build a new Twin Stadium. And he said, my high school is however old it is at that time when I interviewed him, and he said, we're not building a new state baseball stadium until we build a new high school. So that kind of showed, I guess, kind of what... I guess maybe his pride, or for Roosevelt, or just how he thinks in general.
In those years, the late '60s, early '70s, if you were a Roosevelt Teddy, you were proud of it. I mean, it was a very close knit school for a school that had 800 people in their senior class almost.
Huh.
And then, sure, you must keep in touch one way or another with other people from high school, and do you guys ever just kind of chat and laugh and think about the former governor?
Actually, to be honest, as far as a lot of the guys that I hung around with in high school, I'm probably one of the last surviving ones left, which is kind of scary. But makes you think and makes you appreciate what you have, and it makes living in Elko-New Market that much better because
the relaxation, the easy lifestyle.
It's everything is friendly. It's just I say if you live in Elko-New Market, if you're not happy, you probably don't really live here.
That's a good tagline.
Yeah, is that on your sign when you drive in? You should think of that.
Yeah, we're actually working on a branding project to brand our city, but I always, like I said, if you're not happy, you can't live in Elko-New Market.
All right, well, we appreciate you joining us. Again, that's Bob Crawford. He's the mayor of Elko-New Market, with sharing some knowledge on the city, the things that are going on there that sound very exciting. So thanks for coming in and joining us.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So once again, this is the Twin Cities Real Estate Pros podcast. My name is Ron Johnson, licensed real estate agent with RE/MAX Advantage Plus. David Nelson, also licensed real estate agent with RE/MAX Advantage Plus. We want to thank Dawn Seepersad, who was here as well. She promoted some of her listings, and we also talked about some of our pre-lists. You can, again, we are live on Facebook in a couple of spots. You can check out our website, TwinCitiesRealEstatePros.com, and you can also watch us on YouTube at ImperialHomeTeam.tv. So we appreciate you joining us, and we'll be back next week with another edition of the Twin Cities Real Estate Pros podcast.